crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country. And that's pretty bad. It's the wrong philosophy. Hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, many of them prisoners. They're taking up your health care. They're taking up your space in schools. They're taking up your hospital. And in many cases, they're criminals.
What do you make of the fact that he says, you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No, it's just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him. And I liked him. You know, I always got along with him. Never had a problem with him. But he's grossly incompetent.
So Donald Trump, the president, picking a fight on this. And to an extent, you see Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, a Democrat, and the California Governor Gavin Newsom pushing back. So what do voters see in terms of their perceptions of Republicans, the president, or Democrats, say Gavin Newsom, on this issue?
Yeah, the American electorate believe that the Democrats don't have a clue on the issue of immigration. I mean, you could just take it here. Closer to trust more in immigration, Democrats versus Republicans. Got 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. You see it here, CBS +6. You see it here, CNN +6. You see it here, Ipsos, even bigger, +19. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans, the American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1. And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans, and that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
I think Newsom lost any opportunity to even run in 2028, honestly. Right, all this posturing he was doing in his new podcast of being a centrist, and then when it came for your actions to speak, we know where you stand, right? And it's in my opinion, Democrats, this is not good optics for you guys. You saw from the intro, Trump called them incompetent, right? Gavin Newsom is going to his usual Democrat playbook: emotionally manipulation, gaslighting, character assassination, right? Calling it reckless, all this dumb stuff. And the reason that Donald Trump even sent the National Guard in the first place is because the LAPD was losing control. I show you the clips. But Gavin Newsom thinks you're dumb, right? Gavin Newsom thinks you won't do any research, right? Gavin Newsom said this is exactly what Trump wanted. He flames the fires and illegally acted to federalize the National Guard. I did some research, and apparently the National Guard, like think about it. Think about, listen in his ears. You're a governor of a state. You're a governor of a state. You're talking about federalizing the National Guard. National Guard. Who? Hey, what government position is responsible for the nation? Oh, the President of the United States. He has the authority to override your jurisdiction on the National Guard, stationed in your state, because they don't serve you technically. They're like the government loaned them to you, and we assume control over them, and you're mad. The order he signed doesn't apply to CA. It will allow him to go into any state and do the same thing. We're suing him. And then look at this left-wing guy. And this is why left-wing podcasters are not respected. This is by Brian Taylor Cohen. Ain't asking no real questions. P. Heck says a joke. He's a joke. Everyone knows he's so over his head. What an embarrassment. This guy's weakness masquerading as strength. Are you talking about yourself, Gavin Newsom? I'm not even going to play the video. But look, this is why left-wingers don't have the clout that they're mad about online. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. All I know is many people on the right are more trusted on this stuff than they are, because what he's running is pure propaganda. If you look at the timeline, what happened? What was the timeline? Did the Marines got deployed now? 700 of them got deployed now. Did the National Guard get deployed before or after the riots? There was clips already of people throwing stuff at ICE, because this is the timeline. ICE was trying to get illegals out of there. They got into employers who were hiring illegals, and this is how the riot started. They were already throwing bricks. They was already trying to get in the way of ICE moving stuff around. There's clips out there, but these people don't expect you to do your own research. And before I continue, I want to show you some clips of Americans getting annoyed about Democrats trying to gaslight us on um, feeling sympathy for illegals.
Not gonna lie, as an American citizen, I'm getting real annoyed at the news trying to manipulate me to feel some sort of way about illegal or undocumented immigrants getting caught being illegal, undocumented, or their visa being expired or whatever, and them being up for deportation and being presented as if something's being done wrong to them. Listen, I have no problem with people immigrating to this country. None. I don't care where they're from. But we have rules and regulation around immigration. Now, I'm not going to snitch on anybody who's just here and I find out they're illegal, but they're working, they have a family, all that. I don't care that much. But if you do get caught as an American citizen, why am I supposed to feel sad? Why is the news presenting it as if like somebody was done wrong? I just saw a news report of a kid who's 18 years old and got arrested, or excuse me, detained on the way to volleyball practice. I don't know what happened to why he was detained, but he's out on bond now, and the news reported that his visa expired years ago. He's speaking to the news saying, I was in there with men, and I hope I'm not the only one that gets out, and blah, blah, blah. All that's fine and dandy, but your visa expired. Like, nobody did you dirty. But the way it's reported, it's as if his visa being expired and him being detained and being out on bond and still up for deportation possibly is presented as if like he was done maliciously.
Here's what's interesting. The mayor, Karen Bass, came down in her public comments on the side of the protesters who were protesting the idea of deportation at all, kind of like Kamala Harris used to march against deportation. And Gavin Newsom then gave a series of editorializations that I think have ruined his chances ever to be a serious national candidate. He said this was chaotic, this was reckless, and he said that they were just trying to have an arbitrary deportation quota. Gavin, 12 million people came into the country illegally. That was 3 million a year. That was 250,000 per month. That was over 8,000 a day. They have not been able to deport more than 1,000 on most days, sometimes 500. They would have to deport 8,000 people every single day for 4 years to get back where we were with 20 million illegal aliens when Joe Biden entered office. So it's not a quota, it's an effort to stop an invasion. And it's a very funny invasion because now Gavin is mad that they nationalized the California Guard. Trump has that ability. And people said, no president, they have to request it. No, they don't. You think that JFK said to George Wallace when he nationalized the Alabama National Guard, said, would you please let us nationalize your guard so you can be removed from stopping African American people going to the University of Alabama? No. What I'm getting at is, on one side of these violent acts, you have these protesters. And I'll just give a word of advice. You're going to lose the optics, Democrats, left, and immigration protesters, if you have a lot of people here illegally and they're waving the American, not the American flag, but the Mexican flag as they're committing acts of violence. Think of the logic. I am waving the flag of the country under no circumstances I want to return, but I am attacking the officers and the infrastructure of the country that under every circumstance I want to stay in. That might explain why in the midst of all of this negative publicity, a CBS poll taken to show that people were outraged showed that just the opposite. 54% of the American people are for continued deportations.
Democrats are only looking out to protect their own political interests. This is why nothing they do ever makes sense if you only think about it as an American. This is why I say I'm an American first. I'm not political party first. I'm American first. How it serves the interest of the American people to continue allowing this chaos to happen for 4 straight nights in your state, Gavin Newsom? It doesn't, but it does benefit Democrats, right? And honestly, on this channel, I show you how certain policies that the Democrats push is in direct conflicts for the best interest of American citizens. What like, in the intro, Trump articulated it perfectly. And American people are behind them. So let me get this straight. You're suing the president for doing the job you refuse to do? We're suing Donald Trump. This is a manufactured crisis. He's creating fear and terror to take over a state's militia and violates the U.S. Constitution. Nope. In the video I just showed you, I got you a Victor, I forgot his name, but I believe he's like a political scholar. He tells you that, look, JFK did this to take over the Alabama National Guard. This is well within the power of the President of the United States. He don't need to ask for permission to do this. And this is how the left gets caught. The left gets caught because they're deceptive. Hey, look, the coexist people are burning stuff down again. Like, you people can't continue playing this game and not expect Americans to wake up to your buffoonery. You guys are the same Democrats preaching about no one's above the law. No one's above the law. Here's a simple reality. Democrats know that they can't win elections without the support of anarchists, Marxists, and progressive left-wing violent wackadoodles. Wackadoodles. I never seen that word before from my guys. This is why they're sitting on their hands, because they know this is their supporters. Los Angeles, and this is the funny part. Gavin Newsom, this show of strength may appeal to left-wing voters, progressive leftists, Democrats, Marxists, whoever they want to call themselves. There's a clip out there surfacing about a guy who said he's an illegal and that he wants socialism to come into this country because it's a more humane system. This guy has not done much research on socialism. Socialism has killed more people, caused more poverty than capitalism. If socialism was so good, you would have stayed at Cuba or whatever country you came from. But you want to bring that mess over here. A system that no self-proclaimed socialist has been able to successfully implement, because every time a self-proclaimed socialist attempts to implement socialism, he always do it the wrong way. Remember, socialists always like to say, oh, that's not real socialism. All they're telling me is this person can't execute socialism, but I can. No, you can't. Because he was a self-proclaimed socialist who thought someone else did socialism the wrong way. He got into power and he did socialism the wrong way. So I ain't trusting none of you socialists about doing it the right way, because none of you have the ability to do it the right way. Los Angeles is all the proof you need that mass migration unravels societies. You can have all the other plans and budgets you want. If you don't fix migration, then nothing else can be fixed or saved. And this is a political miscalculation by the Democrats, by Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom just committed political suicide right here in live national TV. One blunder, maybe people can forgive. Forest fires, yeah, that wasn't your fault. You can blame Karen Bass if it gets too bad. But this is all on Gavin Newsom. And I want to play a clip by Stephen A. Smith, pretty much highlighting how exactly that he played into Donald Trump's hands, because this is an issue that, in my opinion, Democrats, you don't got a shot in hell to win.
How the hell are you playing right into the hands of Donald Trump? Because I got news for you. On this particular issue, as it involves migrants, immigrants, those who are undocumented, dare we say illegal, in the United States of America, he's winning on this issue. There's a reason he won the popular vote. There's a reason he won the electoral college vote. There's a reason he won every swing state. There are people within the United States of America that want our immigration crisis addressed and want the situation resolved somehow, some way. And the person that seems eager to bring a resolution to the table is President Donald Trump. Now, others may challenge that because they may say we had a bipartisan agreement when Joe Biden was in office that Donald Trump convinced the GOP to nix because he wanted to use it as an issue to favor him during the election. Well, damn it, it worked. It worked. And I got news for you, Governor Newsom. It's working now.
Well, I ain't leaving. Well, as a matter of fact, we got over 100 teams out today enforcing immigration law, and we're going to flood the zone. I've said for a month, sanctuary cities, you don't want us to arrest these bad guys that you just listed out. We could arrest them in the safety and security of a county jail, but they won't let us into jail. They release them into the community, which means we got to send a whole bunch of teams in the community to find this dangerous person that don't want to be found. So sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More officers in the communities and more officers in worksite. We can't arrest them in jail or arrest them in the community. If we can't arrest them in the community, we're going to increase worksite enforcement operation. We're going to flood the zone. And based on what LA's doing right now, we're going to continue to flood the zones. We're going to be there tonight. We're going to be there tomorrow. We're going to be there every day in the next 4 years, arresting public safety threat illegal aliens. We're not going to apologize for doing it. So We're not going anywhere, Jesse. We're going to do the job the American people voted Donald Trump in office for. We're going to make America safe again, one illegal alien criminal at a time. And this is another reason we need the big, beautiful bill passed so we can hire more ICE agents, get more technology, and help us find these people. Look, we got over 20 million illegal aliens in this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers. We're outnumbered. You want more criminals taken off the street? You want more efficient operations? Then they need to pass this bill and fund ICE and fund the Border Patrol to keep President Trump's promise to the American people.
When you're a political party like the Democratic Party, you tend to lack common sense. This is common sense stuff. Like the guy, Donald Trump ran on 2024 on mass deportation being one of his top issues. This candidate wins the popular vote, wins all 7 swing states. Polls show that majority of Americans, well over the margin of error, support mass deportations. Then Gavin Newsom, who is potentially a candidate for the Democratic Party in 2028, decides to stand opposite of the position that most Americans hold in this country. Make it make sense. Even in California, this stuff is being played out by the citizens saying, hey, we don't want illegals in here. Hey, we don't want people who will break the laws to be able to be rewarded in our system, which they are, because show me the incentive, show me the outcome. If you don't punish someone for breaking your laws, what are you saying? Through your actions, you're saying it's okay. And this is why I say Democrats, they pass policies that enable bad outcomes. And now people coming in, ICE coming in, trying to do their job, as Tom Homan pointed out in my last clip for this video, that they try to work with these people and these people did not want to work with them. So he said, hey, we'll be forced to go into your neighborhoods and do it directly without the safety of prison or whatever. And the sanctuary cities people, they don't care, because at the end of the day, I already showed you the political interests of the Democratic Party. And all the Democratic Party got is emotional gaslighting, emotional manipulation. And that is not even working, because most Americans already see through the BS. And this is what annoys many Americans, such as myself, is that the Democratic Party do not operate in the best interest of America. If you take off like your race, your gender, your sexuality, whatever, all these games of division that the Democrats try to play, they try to categorize people and then position themselves as, oh, we're the party for black people, we're the party for brown people, we're the party for this. If you just take away all that racist, sexist BS that the Democrats try to get you to buy into, and you just think of yourself as solely an American, aka a citizen of this nation, and you only think yourself as an American, you see that every freaking policy that the Democrats support is at the expense of Americans. Americans are supposed to cover all the costs, but illegals get to reap all the benefits. Make that make sense. And this is why you see a lot of people turning against on Democrats on this issue. And they're slow to pick up, because at the time of me recording this video, the only Democrat to publicly denounce the riots is John Fetterman. John Fetterman, I've been saying this for a long time. John Fetterman might be Democrats' only hope. But I digress. I'd like to hear your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below about how you think this is playing out for Gavin Newsom's political future. Do you think he has a chance of being a national candidate after this debacle? I mean, he was done since the forest fires for me. But this is only, it further shows you that the Democratic Party, they really have nobody really to run in 2028. All their candidates are compromised, because many of you go by their track record, you see all this buffoonery that they're doing. And this is why I said that Democrats, you guys are in timeout in my political estimation for the next 10 years, the way you guys are going. It might be even longer. Let me know your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below. I'd like to hear your thoughts and what you guys are thinking about this whole situation with the LA riots, these protests against immigration. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.